All right, we're just going to talk briefly about combustion. You've seen combustion before. We've done some combustion reactions in class. You've talked about it in grade 10, but a quick review. Remember that combustion is a reaction where we're taking something and combining it with oxygen. Often when we talk about combustion, we're dealing with hydrocarbons. But we can also have combustion of metals, those types of things. So there are a variety of ways you'll see combustion, but the key with combustion is to recognize one of the reactants will always be oxygen. Okay, and there are two types of combustion. We have complete combustion or incomplete combustion. With complete combustion, you produce two products. You produce carbon dioxide and you produce water. And usually it's water vapor because it's so hot it's a gas. With incomplete combustion, you actually produce a variety of products. You get the carbon dioxide, you get the water, you also produce carbon monoxide, and I'm going to add one more here. You can produce solid carbon, which is soot, right? That black ash stuff that's created. So with a hydrocarbon, that's what you might get. The key to recognize when you're doing combustion reactions is you are essentially combining any of the elements that are in your reactant with oxygen, right? And if it works perfectly, you should just create carbon dioxide and water when you're dealing with a hydrocarbon. But if you don't have enough energy, right? So if there's not enough oxygen to completely bond all the elements with it, that's where you get incomplete combustion. And in reality, we strive for complete combustion, but more often than not, we're dealing with incomplete combustion. We don't get a perfect burn, right? So that's why, like, things, if you have in your house like a water heater that runs on combustion, like burning natural gas, or a furnace or a fireplace or a stove that burns natural gas, that's why we have carbon monoxide detectors in our house, because they're not going to do perfect combustion. You're not going to get complete combustion all the time. You're actually going to be getting incomplete combustion from them. So any CO that's generated, any carbon monoxide, is extremely poisonous. We don't want to have high quantities of it in our house. It'll kill us without us even knowing, right? So that's why it's really important you check your carbon monoxide detectors monthly. All right, so complete combustion. Products of complete combustion are carbon dioxide gas and water vapor when we're dealing with a hydrocarbon. So here our hydrocarbon for this example is methane, CH4, and it will react with oxygen gas to produce carbon dioxide and water, right? And this one's balanced, that's why you see it. There's some nice pictures there. But key with complete combustion of hydrocarbon, two products, CO2 and H2O. In complete combustion, when oxygen is limited, right? So when we don't have enough oxygen, then you get a possibility of a variety of different products. With a hydrocarbon, and for our purposes, we're going to stick with these four products all the time. You might see reactions like the one shown below, where maybe you're only getting three of them, but we're going to stick with, I want you to recognize with these reactions that we should get four products: CO2, CO, carbon, and water, right? So CO2 gas, carbon monoxide gas, carbon, that's our black soot, right? I'll just write soot there in case that's the black stuff that gets created when you burn things. And then our water. So those are our products, right? So incomplete combustion is probably more what we see on a daily basis, but it's really important to recognize the difference between the both. The fun thing with these ones, incomplete combustion, is often there's a variety of ways that you can balance it, because there's so many elements involved that you might find different coefficients than what you see. Like if you're doing it with somebody else does the same reaction, they might balance it slightly different just depending on how they dealt with it. Just because there are a lot of places where there's the carbons and the oxygens and all those things. Okay. So as I said, for us, for our class, I want you to stick with four products for incomplete combustion: carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon, and water. Okay. So that's just a quick refresh of what those are. I don't think I really need to get into more of that. We'll talk a little bit more about combustion later on, but just wanted to review those really quick with you as we finish up our types of reaction stuff. Okay. If you're out there and you're practicing, this is awesome. If you got questions, make sure you ask.